All right, everybody, welcome back to the Titans Table for Two in the two-tone blue. That's Andrew.
That's Christian.
And guys, we're coming to you after a couple week break. We're sorry about that, man. We're kind of putting this whole show that we've started with you guys into our normal schedules, and it just has been a lot of stuff going on. We've had Halloween trick or treat costumes for Andrew's children and stuff like that, and cheer competitions, all kinds of stuff. So it's just been real busy and had conflicting schedules between the two of us and things going on. But we're happy to be here with you today. Had kind of a tale of two different games the last couple of weeks that we've missed out. We had the Lions game, which we'll just talk about briefly because I don't think we want to talk about that. Giving me vibes of that Patriots blowout years ago,
Yeah.
But yeah, I had some unfortunate injuries happen as well over the weeks. But yeah, just briefly touch on the Lions blowout. We know what it was. Special teams was a mess, injuries, stuff like that.
Yeah. Big time. I think you start getting creeping up on 300 return yards and turn the ball over 4 times, give them like 5 drives inside the 25-yard line. That's not a recipe to win. If you were just to look at the team stats, like of yardage gain, time of possession, and stuff, I think the Titans won this game.
Mm-hmm.
But start getting into those two interceptions, 2 fumbles. Like I said, Khalif Raymond, Titans legend, one return for a touchdown, another one that went inside the 25, a kickoff return that went inside the 25.
Mm-hmm.
Just special teams were horrible in that game.
Horrible.
And you can't even put like the 52 points on the defense. What are they supposed to do when the other team's basically in the red zone every single time?
Absolutely.
Against one of the league's best offenses too. So,
Yeah, I think we'll be looking to hire uh, a new coach there this year. Honestly, it's been a wreck all year. All year, almost every game that we played this year, you can find and I get that it's kind of a new deal in parts of it and stuff, but that doesn't excuse all of it. There's parts of it that haven't changed at all, that they're just dreadful. It's been across the board, punting, kickoff, all of it. Yeah. So I think we'll be looking for a new coach there. Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. I don't like to do that typically. I'm not that guy. I don't. You're not going to see me on the internet calling for jobs and things like that. I mean, I'll predict what I think or so, but I do think that will be the case this year. This is an ugly season for a special teams coach. So,
I think it's all about not firing in season, like you're saying. And unless they drastically improve, I don't see Cole Anderson coming back as a special teams coordinator.
You're fired.
No, absolutely not. And another part of the offense, I think we were hoping to and it's taken a big hit with the injury, is the line. I think you still got to give that a couple years, for that stuff to it's been better this year than it was last year, but a big hit with Cushenberry, man. He's been pretty solid. He's been up and down a little bit, but
inconsistent for the most. Meaning consistent for the most part, but he's had some bad moments.
Yeah,
better than what you saw last year. And I think overall the line has gotten a lot better as the season's gone on. I actually think in the last month they are first in sacks given up. Like they've given up the least.
Yeah, sure.
So and they're doing. I mean, you have a revolving door at right tackle right now. They're swapping in and out Leroy Watson and John Ojukwu, but. And that's with Ravens was out this past game too.
Yeah,
I think they only gave up 1 sack the whole game, and it was Leroy Watson, and he got beat pretty bad. But I mean, 1 sack compared to like 8 we were giving up at some points.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people were screaming all year. And I didn't want to hear it. I was one of the first ones that didn't want to hear it. To be honest with you, I've been this way all year. I want wins. I think your goal is to win. But. There's people, and they're right. They're looking like they're right, that said that, that's not about wins and losses this year for the Titans. The offensive line isn't going to, go from worst to first like that, in one season. It's going to take a little time, especially as bad as it was. And it's looked rough sometimes this year. It didn't start out too well at all. But a little bit more of an improvement, and I have hope for the future with the coaching we have there. Because I'm not out on Callahan or either Callahan. I like both of them still. I think he's had Will Levis has been an interesting experiment this year. Yeah,
Yeah, I think this season was really just all about figuring out what we had and improving. And I mean, other than the Lions game and the Packers game, we've been in every game,
hmm
uh, especially the Lions game. But I mean, you're still seeing improvements in most areas. Now you're still haven't seen it from Levis as he's been out for a few weeks now,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and the special teams has been questionable. But you're seeing Callahan become more comfortable as a play caller. The offensive line clicking. The defense has been what it is all year. The pass rush has been a lot better the last couple of weeks, and everybody talking about Simmons having a down year, which I never thought he was. But I mean, these last two games, he's been
no,
tremendous and stuff in the stat sheet
well,
like
I
people
mean,
wanted. He has,
Simmons has been there every game just about for me. It seems like I mean, he was out one game
yeah,
this year, but he's been in there making plays or causing other plays to be made. It seems like Simmons has still been a beast this year, so I don't understand
yeah.
that. But
People weren't
and
seeing the numbers on the stat sheet at the beginning of the season. Like, oh, what's he
yeah,
doing? It's like just because the numbers aren't there, you're not. There's a lot of things that go into playing a defensive lineman.
yeah,
It's not always getting the tackle or getting the sack.
yeah, yeah,
And sometimes it's clogging space and opening up holes for other people, which he's done
yeah,
all season.
yeah.
And he had an
Well,
amazing game against the Patriots. So
yeah, and like I said, tail of two games. We had an ugly victory there. It didn't look pretty, but they did it in OT. Who were a couple
yeah, you don't want to see that game
standouts?
go into overtime, but
Yeah, who were a couple other standouts on defense that you had for the Patriots
for
game?
the Patriots, I mean, I mentioned Simmons with his 7 pressures and a sack, a hurry, a QB hit. Uh, drew 3 holding calls. Probably could have been 1 or 2 more, honestly. But for me, honestly, the last 2 games has been Arden Key.
hmm
Arden Key has been in the backfield. I think it was 2 sacks against the Lions, another one against the Patriots. He's been all over the field the last 2 games. And I mean, I'm not sure what's gotten into him. He said he was working on some stuff, but Arden Key has been outstanding. He had 2
Yeah,
tackles for loss against the Patriots. He's been everywhere. So Arden Key and Jarvis Brownlee, he's really stepped up in
yeah.
Legarius Sneed's
I think
absence.
Jarvis
He
Brownlee's
hasn't
going to
been
end
able
up
to pull a
being one of
peg down
the.
yet, but
Yeah, Jarvis Brownlee's going to end up being one of those picks that we look on back on here in a couple years and just are really thankful for one of those late picks. Um,
yeah, he's really just got that dog in him, honestly.
he reminds me of Cortland Finnegan in that way. Just always there. You always see his
Mm-hmm.
number. You always see his
Yeah,
number, even if he's not making the tackle. He's right. He's like second, to the man. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with Jarvis Brownlee. And Jack Gibbons did
he,
pretty well. Had a pretty good game.
yeah, a lot of tackles, especially coming in now that Ernest Jones is gone. So I'm not sure if we'll end up seeing more Jerome Baker or not.
Yeah, yeah,
But Gibbons has played well. He's getting his shot to be back in the starting lineup, and he's taking care of business. What was I going to say? Yeah, what Jarvis Brownlee gives you, and even I'll even give Daryl Baker, some props too, is giving us some depth in that cornerback
hmm
position because it seems like a position that does seem to get injured, whether it's those hamstrings, those
yeah,
quads, and
yeah,
stuff like that. I mean, you're running a lot out there, but we haven't had depth in a long time, And no shame to these guys, but Trey Avery and Eric Garrett aren't some guys you want to be your 3rd and 4th options. Maybe
yeah,
plug and play for a game if they have to, but now we have injuries to our top 2 corners, and I still feel really good with McCreary and Brownlee and Baker out there.
yeah. I mean, that
The
was kind of the
defense
issue
just
with
seemed
this
to,
team all around. Really, was there's not really a lot of depth on the Titans. That's been a problem all year, really, in most spots on the
yeah,
team. But yeah, we're a little banged up now. It took a little while to get here. We've been pretty healthy for most of the year. But we
yeah.
mentioned Cushionberry out with the Achilles injury. That's a big loss. Running backs are banged up a little bit. Excuse me. Will Levis, obviously. And while I'm talking about Will Levis, so let me ask you: if the Titans have a top 5 draft pick, Do you go quarterback? Do you bring somebody in to compete? Are we at that point where you have to bring somebody in to at least compete with him?
I think if the season ended today, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, there's only two guys I would take, and if
Yeah.
those two are gone, and we still were pick five, and those two are gone, no.
And I'm not sure where
But
those guys are projected. I know who you're talking about, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen latest mock drafts where they're projected or anything. But
I mean, it all
it
depends. I
all
mean, the
depends.
Patriots are the top five. They're not going quarterback. They got Drake May, who
Yeah.
played fairly well against us, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing. He didn't have great passing numbers, but nobody has great passing number against us. He ran for 95 yards or something like
Yeah.
that. 95. I mean, he had that late game touchdown. He was able to set up a picnic at the end of the game to throw that tying
Yeah.
interception. I mean, tying touchdown. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, it all depends on who's there and I mean where you're picking, I guess. But I still think there's a reason Callahan keeps saying, "Hey, Levis is going to play when he gets healthy." He said
Yeah.
it all season. You know what Mason Rudolph is. Like
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
they're
He has to
still
play when he gets healthy. I don't think you keep him on the bench or anything. I'm thinking I'm
no.
at the point like that. I think I'm at the point though, like yeah, if the season was over today, I do think you might have to go get that quarterback if you're in the top five, top three, maybe to compete and see what you can
Mhm.
make of it because it's just not been what we thought it would be and stuff. And I get it's not all his fault and everything, but it's that's part of chemistry and stuff, right? It's part of timing, chemistry, all that. Um, but yeah, we'll see with that. And a lot of people I saw actually get your thoughts on this, and I kind of was thinking they would. It doesn't bother me because I like Arden Key, I guess. But I saw a lot of people upset that not a lot of people. I say a lot of people, a couple of people uh, that were upset. Maybe they didn't weren't able to shop him before the deadline. They
Yeah, I
sent him
think. I
back for
mean,
that.
yeah. I mean, I think that's out there. Where I was talking about him, Sebastian Joseph Day. I saw some
Yeah,
people bringing up Jeffrey Simmons, which is wild
yeah,
to
yeah. I
me.
don't
I mean, even
understand
in a
that either.
rebuilding team, you got to have those blocks. The foundation, and he's one of those foundation guys. To me, I mean, maybe they probably maybe didn't get offered anything more than a seventh for
Yeah,
Arden Keen at that point. I
yeah,
mean, is it worth it at that point? I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't think I would trade Key for a seventh just because, I mean, who's your next best guy? You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, and although they're 2-6, I guarantee nobody in that room is saying, let's not go win every single game. Let's not go 11-6. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
in their head, it's not, I don't, everybody's like, oh, tank. Teams don't think like that. You
No.
go to the Titans locker room and tell them to tank.
Yeah, right,
You're going to
right.
get laughed out of that building and get smacked up.
Yeah, they're
They're not going to take it
competitors,
in their
man.
head. The D Hop thing is one thing because you're getting a mid round pick and you
He
still have
wasn't
some depth
coming back
behind.
here next year. He wasn't going to be back in a Titans uniform, I
Yeah,
don't think, either way.
expiring deal.
So,
Uh, the Chiefs needed a receiver. You have depth at that position, whether the passing game has been great or not. But you still have Ridley. You still have Boyd. You have
yeah.
Nick Westbrook and Kine, who's,
Well, and
I
you know
mean,
who I'm
I got
hoping
a
that we
fan
might
favorite
take a
now.
shot at next year is I've got my fingers crossed for a guy this next year in free agency. I believe it's
T.
this
Higgins.
year. T. Higgins, baby. With that
Yeah,
Callahan connection, I'm
yeah.
got
And
my
he's from
hands
Nashville, so I
folded.
mean,
Yeah, so I've
yeah,
got my
you
hands
got
folded for T. Higgins, man. That would be amazing.
T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley, Nick Westbrook, and Kine. Well, I like to
Yeah,
call him Nick Westbrook inevitable because he's
yeah,
inevitable. In
yeah.
every
I'll get
play,
to that
oh,
later. I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later for sure. You'll hear from me with that.
yeah, okay.
uh, but yeah, man, ugly
Um,
win, but we got the win. I'll take it. It's only the second one of the year, so it just feels good to not get beaten on anymore for a
you know what?
week at least.
You know what feels good is halfway through the season, this defense is still ranked number one
Yeah,
in
it's kind of
yardage, not in
incredible, isn't
points,
it?
which is pretty important, but still like so it makes it like, hey, it wasn't a fluke for a couple of games. It wasn't because they were playing
Yeah,
a
yeah,
rookie quarterback and a hobbled Aaron Rodgers. Like this is over. I think only 1 week they came out not ranked number one in total
yeah.
defense. So it's
Could you
good to see.
imagine
Even
if
when
our offense was scoring points, man?
I'm telling you,
We'd
we
be
did break
good.
the 17. It took overtime, but we broke the
Yeah.
17.
I hope I'm not jinxing these guys with all my predictions because, boy, I tell you what, I've been wrong a lot. So
I mean, if we go to the offense, though, Rudolph, I mean, efficient, had an interception still. You can debate whether you thought it was Chick's fault that ball got intercepted or not.
yeah,
It was high, it was tipped, whatever. Uh, Tony Pollard deserves all the credit in the world.
yeah, he's
Not practicing all
been
week, running for 128, 26 more yards. So you're talking about, what, 154 yards total?
yeah,
I don't know
he's
if
been
you
great
caught
all
the
year.
post-game presser with Callahan. A man was in tears talking about Tony Pollard and how
Yeah,
he's just everything his team wants to embody. Some people were getting upset about him, like crying in the press. I'm all about it. That shows, to me, that means you care.
people got to have something to get upset about, I guess.
Yeah, I'm all about it, man. They show some emotion. Let me know you give a damn.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it didn't bother me one bit, man. Uh, did you see the D Hop with the "Remember the Titans" dance? It
yeah,
aggravated some fans,
yeah,
but I don't think they. I think they took it the wrong way. I don't think he meant it as a slight or anything. But I just to bring that up. He got his first touchdown as the Kansas City Chief, and did the. And if you haven't seen "Remember the Titans," I suggest you just cut us off right now and go watch that because that's
yeah,
ridiculous, and shame on you for not watching "Remember the Titans."
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
I might watch it tonight. Matter of fact, actually,
There we go.
it's funny. It's one of those movies that I watch like reactions of on YouTube, so I can kind of relive it for the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
It's a good way to kind of you just go watch other people watch it for the first time, and it's kind of a way to be able to, or it's like showing it to a friend or something too, or show like I love that's one of those movies I love to show somebody that's never seen it.
yeah.
So
It's like it's the opposite of like when you're watching a movie and there's like a really cringe part of it, and you're like, I can't watch.
no, yeah, you feel
Like,
embarrassed.
oh,
Yeah.
he's about to embarrass himself. I can't watch this, and it's the
Yeah, Boy
opposite.
Meets
You're like, oh
World
man,
did that to me all the
watch this
time. I
part.
always felt embarrassed in Boy Meets World. Corey Matthews
Oh
always
man,
made me feel embarrassed when I was watching him.
goofy boy. Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, he came out and said that it wasn't a shot, that it was a shout out, that he loves
Yeah,
Nashville, and he said Rand and his crew are family, and he wouldn't be where he is without them. So
yeah,
I think like the pessimistic side of the fan base was like, oh, he's
yeah,
D Hop is all class all the time.
yeah.
So
That's exactly what I was gonna say. He's pure class, and it's all high, man. So
yeah,
we got nothing but love for D Hop, man. I wish we could have done him better this year, man. So
yeah, I'm glad he named. Go get a ring dog.
yeah, man. Good on him, dude. So and you know what, man? They're not fun to watch. It's never fun to watch anybody but your team win. But I got respect for the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid. I always have, man. I used to be a fan of some of those Eagles teams just because I liked Andy Reid, man.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Uh,
those McNabb eras.
yeah, I've always I think he's one of the maybe. I mean, it's hard to be a Bill Belichick, but Andy Reid's right there behind a
Mhm.
Bill Belichick or something. He's
I
right there
mean,
with the
you talk
best. He's
about
top five, man.
Mahomes having his worst statistical season, and they're still undefeated. So
Yeah. So props to them, man, and I hope they do bring D Hop some trophies and stuff, man. That's all right with me because
if
it's
they
not
go to the
like
Super
this year.
Bowl, our pick goes from a fifth to a fourth
Yeah,
too. So you
it's
can,
not. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So we're rooting for you guys, man. But yeah, I
all
mean, it's
Titans
not going
fans
to be
became
us
Chiefs
there.
fans.
Yeah. So did you have something for a final bite, man?
Yeah, yeah. My final bite, I kind of touched on it earlier, uh, was about the people saying trade Jeffery Simmons. To
Yeah,
me, like I said, a rebuild, still need foundation pieces.
yeah, that would have been
The rest
foolish,
of the
and
night,
that would have been
yeah.
like one of the biggest heartbreaks to me because I think that would have been foolish.
One, you're probably not going to get a first, so you're looking at a second.
Yeah,
Find me a second rounder in a crapshoot that's going to be as dominant as this guy, even
yeah,
in the first. Like
yeah, yeah.
that's
And he's still
it was
pretty
insane.
young, man. He's
He's on
not
his second contract.
super old. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
not like
27 or 28.
it feels like he's
Something like
been here forever. You know what I mean? It feels
that.
like he's been here for years. But
I think he's
I
like
mean,
28.
yeah, it's not like it's not like he's he's on the tail end yet necessarily. He could,
27.
defending. Yeah,
He's
so he's
27.
got
He
a good
shares a
chunk of
birth.
years. What's that?
Shares a birthday with my daughter. They have the same
Oh, how about
birthday.
that? Nice.
There you go. He's
So
only
yeah,
19 years
man,
older.
he's got a good chunk of years left in him, man. So I think that's silly as well.
Yeah, for
But
sure. What do you have for a final bite?
it's just a shout out, man, to our guy, man, NWI, dude. Like he's
Dude,
been just anytime that like every time you forget about him, man, he's there for a touchdown or something, Like, and I hate to
four
say
straight
forget
games
about
with
him
a
because that's
touchdown.
disrespectful. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's just been so reliable over the last
Mm-hmm.
few years, And is he, you know, is he a T Higgins or no? But he gets the job done, man. He comes and he works hard and he practices hard and he's always there doing his job. Um, and I love Nick
Inevitable.
Westbrook Akine, man. I mean, he's awesome. So it's just my final bite is just wanted to appreciate Nick Westbrook Akine and give him his flowers, so to speak, as the kids say today. So
Nick Westbrook, inevitable, baby.
yeah, man,
Man is
love that
inevitable.
guy.
Yeah,
And I
Teron
appreciate all his
Davenport.
time here.
Teron Davenport, I think it was in the offseason. Maybe when he made the roster, and it was like NWI is like a Honda Accord. Nothing super pretty or
Yeah,
anything, but he's reliable. He'll get you there.
yeah, he'll
And
run for years.
so it was either after the game or Monday. I can't think it was after the game. NWI was wearing a Honda Accord T-shirt. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. So yeah, shout out to NWI, man. I appreciate all your time here, man, and everything, and you
Yeah,
taking the job serious and everything, and the town appreciates you, man. Not even just the
I might have
town,
to
the
go.
state, the state appreciates you, man.
I might have
So
to go get me an NWI jersey. I haven't got a jersey yet this
yeah,
year.
yeah, man. That'd be a good one to
I need him to
have, man.
re-sign. He's been only all these 1-year deals, and we got to get him like a 3-year deal at
Yeah.
least. Let him be here for a while.
I'm glad I didn't buy that Levis jersey. I told somebody this year, I was like, he's got to prove it to me first. I don't want to buy a Levis jersey. And then,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you
I see.
know,
Well, I see a lot of them in the stadium when I'm there. So
yeah. I get pissed when I see the mayonnaise commercials now. I'm not gonna lie, I get frustrated seeing that. It's like, man, dude, you should have been practicing or something, man. I don't want to see this mayonnaise crap. Yeah, I know that didn't take away from his, practice, but it just
yeah,
irks me now. I'm just like, we're gonna be known as the mayonnaise quarterback. That's what we're gonna be remembered for.
yeah.
Uh,
It's hilarious.
but anyways, man, guys,
Oh,
we're sorry again for not being with you for a couple weeks. We're gonna try to be a little
yeah.
more consistent for you. We're sorry about
We're gonna
that.
be better. We're gonna be better.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be previewing the game maybe tomorrow, actually. So we're gonna try and get
Yeah.
that in for you. And we'll see what happens this next coming week. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not that weird point where I don't know how much I want to win now. Like I want a good draft pick.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. That's hard for me to go into a Sunday saying, "Man, I hope they lose." Though,
yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's such a weird feeling, man. But we'll see
I'm
what
gonna go.
happens, man.
And I've said it before on the show. It's like until they're mathematically not gonna make the playoffs. In my mind,
Yeah,
there's a chance. So they're
yeah,
telling me
yeah,
there's a
yeah,
chance.
yeah.
So
So I mean, yeah, you're right. I'm the same way. So we'll see what happens, and we'll be bringing you a game preview tomorrow. Look for us to bring that tomorrow, and
yeah,
then
I appreciate. I just want to say we appreciate all the love we have gotten, all the
yeah,
likes, the
absolutely.
views, comments. It's been nice
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. And yeah, I
So
mean, we didn't get a chance to kind of preview anything, so we didn't get a lot of Lions and Patriots fans checking us out probably this time. But if you did, man, we appreciate you guys too, man. I always want to shout out,
mhm.
the opponents and our adversaries because we all love this game of football, man. So we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Hit the like button down there. Tighten up that like button. Subscribe. Leave your comments down below about the game and what you thought. And turn that bell on, man, so that you know whenever we've got a video coming. And we're actually going to be doing some live stuff more here in the future as well. So hit all that stuff for us, man. And we appreciate you
Let's
being
go.
here. We appreciate everybody's time.
Yep. And on that note, check please. I'm making Drake May pay for this one.
That's fine with me.
All right. Peace
Shoot
out.
some
Titan
blue,
favorite for
baby.
2. Let's go.